Hey everyone, welcome back. I hope we are well. So I wanted to start doing like topical videos, like talking about topics. The last one I did was talking about like diet culture, and I kind of want to make it a regular occurrence on this channel. Just talking about like life and shit and things that are going on, things that affect me personally, things that are going on, things that I've been through, which I think that you also may be going through and can find relatable, etc. I've named this video The Meaning Behind My Tattoo because I feel like it will spring onto the topic generally of kindness and being nice, and how we need to talk about it, and how I feel that the topic of being kind to one another is quite an important one, and I just want to talk about it, you know? So I got my tattoo done in LA. I got it done by a lady called Jodie Dorber. She has previously tattooed me in Norfolk. This one here. This is like my little glass heart, and I knew her, and she moved to LA like in the last couple of years, and she started doing these really cute designs, which was like a bobby pin and like a phrase with like a red heart or a red shape behind it. And when me and Josie would like planned our trip to LA, I said, hey, should we go and both get this tattoo style, but either it could be matching or we could have our own slogan or whatever on it. And we're like, hell yeah. So I messaged her on Instagram like months and months before saying we want to come in on these like dates, can you squeeze us in? She was like, hell yeah. So we did, and I'll be completely honest, we were going down the line of we wanted to have like a matching tattoo. So we wanted, whatever we had written on our arm, we both wanted the same thing. And we just couldn't decide. We don't really have like a slogan or a phrase. I mean, the one that we say most of the time is let's get fat and sassy. But she didn't want fat and sassy tattooed on her arm. So I said, why don't we just get like our own phrase, like something that we both want, but because the tattoo is basically the same, it will be matching in that respect because it's the same style. She was like, okay, yeah, that works. So because of that kind of gave me more freedom, because I thought it would be something that would be a bit more personal. And the first thing that came to my head was kind as cool. And I feel like this, to me, is a really, like, it's such a basic quote, it's such a basic phrase. Yeah, I feel like it's such an important one for me personally, because I just sort of live my life by this mantra or this phrase, which is kind is cool. Like, being kind and being nice to people is really great, and it isn't that hard. And you know, when you meet like a really nice person, you remember them and you appreciate them and you think, cool, what a nice person. And I feel like that happiness that kind people can bring you is easily transferable yourself. Like, being kind is actually really, really easy. It's one of those things that when you're kind to someone and you know they appreciate it and that kindness bounces off, you get a feeling somewhat of satisfaction as well. It's just an all-round positive thing that you give kindness, you receive kindness, you feel the appreciation and warmth from kindness. Therefore, how could being kind possibly be bad? I feel like a vicar right now. So I just kind of wanted to talk about kindness and where we are going wrong in terms of not being kind. I think also when you've been through personal hardships and you've had people being unkind to you, it could go one of two ways. You could either fight against it and think, I never want to be like that, I never want to be that kind of person, so I'm gonna just almost protest and be as kind and as loving to people as I can. Or you could go the opposite and feel like you've got a vendetta, like the world owes you something, and therefore you become an unkind person because you were treated badly. It's a sad thing, and I can understand why people might want to do it, but I feel as people we need to encourage kindness and being nice to one another, because there is nothing wrong with it. So I guess I want to start by talking about when I was at school, and I feel like the school playground is the first port of call that we as people witness unkindness and how children can be really horrible to one another. I was bullied when I was at primary school. I was what they deemed as a SWAT. I used to get called SWAT all the time because I was doing well and I liked to learn and I was quite smart and I got a lot of certificates for good behaviour and good work. And I remember this one boy, he drew a picture of me and it was me at my desk. It was pretty good drawing, to be honest. And quite creative. And the wall behind me was covered in certificates of achievement, which is what you'd get. Funny enough, I didn't actually get one that term, so I don't know why you drew it. And underneath in big writing he wrote SWAT, and that made me feel really sad because I thought, you're making me feel bad and you're being negative about the fact that I'm doing okay and I'm a good student and I want to learn. And I think that really affected me from then on in my school career because I didn't want to be bullied anymore, so I guess I messed around and I didn't want to be seen to be in with the gangs that were doing well. Like, I wanted to be with the cool kids because, you know, I got shit for it basically, and I feel like that's such a shame that children, that people are mean, because essentially I guess what it stems down to is jealousy of someone else's achievements, and the only way that they could deal with that is by being nasty, which is a shame because you'd think that you'd want to be, I guess they don't particularly understand, but being inspired by someone and wanting to be like someone would string them to sort of work harder and motivate them to be better at school and try harder. I know some kids struggle with school. I know some kids just don't have the, I don't understand everything. Like, there's just some things I just can't grasp. And I think that's with everyone. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and not everybody's, I guess, is in the classroom. So you could look at it, there could be different factors as to why someone was frustrated, but essentially it is just not nice being horrible to someone because they are doing well. And then into high school, I struggled with bullying again, and that was just down to girls being bitchy girls and being jealous of friendships. Like, I feel like there's this weird thing in high school, and even sometimes now, like this weird thing to do with, she's my best friend, you can't be friends with her. Like this weird ownership, this weird sort of thing that happens with girls in friendship groups. There's a lot of jealousy, and especially if there's like one person in a gang or a group of friends that's almost like the leader or the head honcho or whatever. I don't know what it's like nowadays, but there's always sort of one person that's a little bit more dominant than everyone else. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not now, like not in my friendship group now, but when you're a teenager and you're growing up, there sometimes is this case of someone always wanting to be that person's best friend, or she's my best friend. And I feel like with me, I had a situation where one of my best friends, Becky, who I did a lot of stuff together outside of school, there was another girl that wanted to be her best friend. And when Becky went on holiday, she basically bullied me out of our friendship group whilst Becky was gone. Sounds so petty and horrible and stupid, but it happened, and I think that is just stupid. It was just a horrible thing. It was being mean to me about my makeup, being mean to me about, you know, like ditching me, like saying we were gonna meet somewhere and people not turning up because they were somewhere else because they wanted me to be on my own. I just find it so odd why girls, teenagers do that to one another. But I guess it's just this thing of growing up. This thing of growing up somehow, I don't even know what it's like at schools nowadays. I dread to think what it's like at school nowadays. I don't understand why teenagers do that to one another. I mean, I must admit, I wasn't the nicest to people either, to certain people at high school, and when I was early high school. But then when I moved schools when I was like 14, back down to Norwich, and I felt like it was a fresh start, a clean slate. No one knew me. I could be whoever I want, but more so I could be completely myself and not have to try too hard to be people's friends, or try not to be this SWAT, or try not to be that. I could be myself, and I decided that people could take it or leave it. And luckily I landed in such an amazing friendship group that they took it. Like Roz, Emma, all my really close best friends, you know, we became a gang. I was taken in by them, and it was great. And I feel like at this point in my school career, that is when I realised everyone should be treated equally. And so I got on with everyone. I made friends with everyone, and I worked hard at school. I still had fun. I still was mischievous, but I saw the importance of learning and whatever. School is a tough one, and I guess growing up and learning more about yourself and your hormones and everything, that is tricksy. But I really do hope that with the way that the world is and how things are changing, that young teenagers and kids are seeing the importance of being nice to one another and how being nice and kind to someone just makes a massive difference, and how we could all be kind together. So as an adult, I am now dealing with a lot of other unkindness. As you may imagine, I am on YouTube and I am here in the public eye. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and you know, I have had my fair share of hatred. I've had my fair share of people trying to bring me down, talking shit, and not just me personally, but you see it everywhere you go. I don't understand how, unless someone is being an absolute dickhead on the internet and being offensive and being disrespectful and being just a grade A asshole, why people deserve to be bashed and hated on by complete strangers. There's websites like Guru Gossip that I don't even want to look at, because I know how horrible some of the shit people say about me, about other beauty bloggers, about other YouTubers. And I mean, I've peeked every now and then at shit, and it is just absolutely vile, absolutely disgusting. Also, just, you can kind of tell that people are getting a kick out of it, and people are thriving off this sort of gossip and this untrueness and this weird obsession they have with people that they supposedly don't like. So that in itself, that is, oh, Josie's baking a packet of something. That in itself, I just cannot get my head around why people find that fun and important, why that makes them feel fulfilled in some way. And likewise, when it comes to people leaving video comments about people and being judgmental, you know, there was, when I had a cry in one of my recent vlogs about feeling forever like judged and people using any opportunity to jump and attack me if I say something silly, or if I do something silly, people will be waiting there in the hedges, waiting for me to fuck up, and then they'll pounce and be like, Helen, you're an asshole. And someone made a comment saying, you know, if you haven't got anything nice to say, or you're offended by something that she says, remember that people have different perspectives on life. So someone might say something that offends me, but might not offend someone else. And it's just like this constant thing. I mean, obviously, if it's like actually like a really shitty thing to say, then fair enough. But people have a bit different perceptions and different ways of dealing with stressful situations and offensive situations or whatever. And so it is okay to not agree with someone on something, but you don't necessarily have to say that you don't agree with them all the time if it's like an unnecessary thing. I think things like Facebook and other video sharing websites which share like potentially nice things, there are a lot of people that will write really unnecessary shit. You could be watching a video about a baby eating a fucking tub of ice cream or putting their face in some food, and you'll always get someone that says that's bad parenting, or that baby's gonna get diabetes, or puppy. You know, there'll always be someone saying that the owner's shit or that puppy is disgusting. Like, it's just unnecessary, and I feel, to me, that is where I see it the most. Go in the top comments on a video on Facebook and you see so much hatred and so much nastiness, and I just don't understand. Sometimes your opinion, or if you feel like you could do something better, etc., sometimes it's just not needed. One other thing that I notice on YouTube a lot recently is the bashing of other YouTubers and their careers and their relevancy and what they're up to, and I feel like a lot of people do this to clickbait, become popular. Some YouTubers will do it when there is genuinely like they've done an awful thing and they've been an asshole, but I feel like just jumping on the big name bandwagon and trying to bring them down is just not necessary. I think it's really hurtful and horrible, and I feel there is some YouTubers that try to branch out of YouTube because it's not really, they might be bored of it, why are we not going their way, and people are still hating on them. I think you should give someone a chance to just, I think it's not nice thriving off other people who might be trying different things or trying to be a new, reinvent themselves. I think just let them be. I think generally in like friendship groups and real life people, bullying can sort of take form in different ways. I see a lot well, I've seen a lot personally, like there's always someone in a friendship group that gets picked on, and they always put it down to like banter. Oh, they won't mind, oh, it's just so and so. And I feel like that is low-key like bullying. I've seen it growing up, I've seen it as an adult. There's always someone that is the butt of the joke, and it makes me feel more and more uncomfortable these days. I don't like seeing people constantly being picked on, because it can really knock them. They might act like, oh yeah, it's a joke and I'm okay with it, but you don't know what it could do to someone's self-confidence. And that kind of leads me on sort of to my next point, which is like condoning bad behaviour and condoning people being assholes. Now, I feel like a good friend will either tell someone that's being nasty to someone else to stop it, or likewise tell you if you are being a dick that you're being a dick. I had an experience recently, I guess, where I was talking about someone that's no longer in my life, and the person said, oh, that's just so and so, they're just a dickhead, but you gotta love them anyway. And it's like, no, this needs to stop. I feel like if you're ever gonna help someone and their behaviour and be a true friend to them, you need to let them know that what they are doing and how they are treating other people is not acceptable. Never ever say, oh, that's just blah blah blah, that's just the way they are. Because you're basically allowing someone to be an asshole just for the sake of avoiding any confrontation and still like having their friendship. Like, if they were being a dick to you, and you were at the end of their dickheadness, if that's a word, you wouldn't be saying, oh, they're just, you gotta love them though, because you wouldn't be loving them, because you'd be treated like shit. So I feel like it is important to let people know when they are being assholes, even if it means you might fall out, or even if it means there might be an argument, because initially a lot of people will be defensive about it, but I think that at the end of the day, it will help them in the long run. I often ask my friends, was I a dick? Should I have said that? Did I word that wrong? Should I say this? And they will always be honest with me, and I appreciate that. If I get angry about something and I want to send a shitty text message, or there is a situation that I don't really know how to handle, or I'm angry, like, because I can be quite fiery sometimes, I have to check, or I have to check after, and then I will learn from it. You know, it's good to have an outside opinion on certain things. I feel like just being nice to people on every day, whether it's saying, hey, have a nice day, to the person that serves you something, being chatty to the person at the checkout that might be looking a bit sad because they're having a shit day. Don't get angry at people in shops because they might not be able to help you with something, because essentially it's not the shop person's fault, it is the company. You know, appreciate that people are working and just doing their job. I mean, obviously, unless they're actually like rude to you or whatever, or like really unhelpful, but generally just be kind to people, treat people how you want to be treated, and just remember that like you don't know what's going on behind someone's closed doors. Complimenting someone or wishing someone a good day or have a lovely evening, whatever, can make someone's day. It can brighten them up. And I tell you, even if I just get a smile off someone when I'm walking down the street, or a nice nod, it makes me feel really, really good. Just a little bit of just like a little uplift.
Being nice is so much easier than being nasty. It takes a lot of effort to be nasty to someone.
It does.
And it doesn't make you feel good, does it?
Not
Being
really.
nasty to someone.
No.
I always feel guilty.
I feel guilty.
That's because we're nice people.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, Josie's just come in and is putting her input into my video. There's a difference between having banter and putting something down to banter.
Yeah.
Or it's just banter when you are actually being an arse. Like the amount of times I've been the subject of someone's banter when it's really actually just them being nasty. When there's actual banter like between me and you, which is banter, I'd say, is when it's like each side.
Yeah.
Like someone being the victim of someone's banter and not sending it back, or it not being able to, that's not banter, that's bullying.
Laughing with each other.
Laughing with each other. But being nice to one another, it feels so nice, doesn't it? Like even when it's just like, you look nice today. It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, even simple things.
Yeah.
Make a cup of tea.
Oh, my heart.
Yeah.
When Mark goes, brows look good, I'm like, fucking hell. Simple acts of kindness as well are very important. Anyway, that's kind of it. Thanks for watching. I hope that was an interesting discussion. An important one, I feel like it is. We all need to be kinder for one another. I feel like we all need to think before we say things and just be nice. It's not hard. Thanks for watching. Bye.